Generation 4 is hosted some of my personal favorite Pokemon designs from Lucario to Mismagius, and of course all 3 starters. In this particular episode of PokeProfiles, we'll be looking at one of my favorite grass-type starters, Torterra. But I'm not alone, as I am joined by Green Typhlosion. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, what's good, my optioners? Green Typhlosion here. When you're finished with this video, definitely check out my content for a view into the more competitive side of Pokemon. Let us begin, shall we?
If you're coming from Green Typhlosion's video, then you know that Torterra didn't rank the highest competitively. But what it lacks in battle prowess, it more than makes up in its Continental inspirations.
Yeah, Torterra's general design is based on tortoises and turtles. In particular, its large and distinct shells and ground typing take inspiration from tortoises' large shells and land-dwelling lifestyle. Torterra's shell also houses many inspirations itself, some of which will be looked in further into this video. But for now, Torterra's shell seems to showcase a condensed environment ranging from mountain peaks to a single oak lake tree with soil around the base.
Setting aside Torterra's shell for just a moment, we'll take a look at its head, in particular its beak. Torterra's beak takes inspiration from various reptiles in the Testudine order, including tortoises again, and to a smaller degree snapping turtles. The spikes alongside its head seem to be based on the extinct Myhalania and the Ankylosaurus. The most notable feature of the Myhalania is its oddly shaped skull that featured 2 horn-like protrusions that face sideways, much like Torterra. The Ankylosaurus also had sideways horn-like protrusions on its head, and this extinct dinosaur could also be the inspiration behind Torterra's bulky body and tail.
Once again, looking back at Torterra's shell, we find that the mountain peaks could take inspiration from the Progantules and again snapping turtles. Both animals have shells that resemble mountains and valleys. In particular, the Progantules have spiky protrusions just behind its head, and that could be referenced by Torterra's similar protrusions on its shell. But Torterra doesn't have just an animal origin, it also has a really awesome mythological inspiration as well.
This mythological inspiration is none other than the world turtle present in many different cultures from around the world, including Indian and Native American. Several Pokedex entries make reference to Pokemon making nests and in some cases spending their entire lives on Torterra's shell. In particular reference to the world turtle is the Pokedex entry from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, stating ancient people imagined that beneath the ground, a giant Torterra dwelled.
The most well-known version of this international myth comes from India, where the one Hindu interpretation depicts a giant turtle known as Kurma, the second avatar of Vishnu. Kurma is known to have supported a mountain on his back, a relatable concept to Torterra's mountain peaks. An alternate version of this myth has the world being within himself. The lower shell represents the earth, the body the atmosphere, and the upper shell the heavens. India's close neighbor China also has their own version of this myth. According to the legend, the god of water Gonggong headbutted Mount Busho after losing a battle against the god of fire Zurong. Unfortunately, Mount Busho was burned with holding up the sky. Acting quickly, the goddess Nua cut the legs off a giant sea turtle known as Ao in order to hold the sky. Although the plan was successful, it resulted in irreversible damage of heavenly bodies moving northwest as compared to the southeast nature of China's rivers.
However, the most influential world turtle myth on Torterra's design comes from the Native American Iroquois Confederacy. The story goes that the first people lived past the sky as there wasn't any earth underneath. One day a chief's daughter fell ill and a wise old man suggested to dig up a tree and lay the girl near the hoe. However, as the hoe was dug, the tree fell through and dragged the girl with it. Below was an endless expanse of water with 2 swans swimming around. When the swans looked up, they noticed the falling tree with the girl behind it. They immediately swam and supported her as she was too beautiful to let drown. They took her to the great turtle, master of all animals, who called a council. It was decided by the council that the fallen girl was a sign of good fortune and that putting earth on the great turtle's back would make an island for the woman to live on. In order to find earth to put on the great turtle's back, the animals first had to find the tree that had sunk to the bottom of the vast waters. At the spot where the tree fell, many animals including a muskrat, otter, and beaver attempted to retrieve earth from the great depths, all coming back empty-handed and dying of exhaustion. Even so, an old lady toad volunteered and dived down. She was gone for so long that the other animals thought she had died, but at last she came up and just before succumbing to her exhaustion, managed to spit out a mouthful of dirt on the great turtle's back. The soil was magical and had the power of growth. Once it reached the size of an island, the chief's daughter was sat down upon it. Eventually it would become the world island we know today, still supported on the great turtle's shell. This creation myth has a close association with Torterra due to both having a focus on a tree, with Torterra and its pre-evolution showing the tree's slow growth, and the Iroquois myth mirroring that with the slow growth of land.
Torterra also has references to his origin within its name. Its English name begins with tort, which is a later reference to the humble tortoise, and terra, the Latin word for ground. Terra being Latin is commonly found being a suffix or prefix in the word that involve ground or earthly material, such as terraform. Aside from that, it may also be a reference to terrapins, which are turtles found in brackish or fresh waters.
Just to top off the English name, there is a native tree in New Zealand that has the scientific name Podocarpus Torterra. However, we're not finished just yet. Although I typically don't cover the Japanese name in my series, I decided to do so in Torterra's case, or shall I say Dodaitos. The name is a combination of the words do, die, and the English tortoise. Do means earth or ground and dai means large. It could also be combined into dodai, meaning foundation. So in this case, Torterra is a large earth tortoise or foundation tortoise. However, keep in mind that Japanese isn't a language I speak nor understand, so Torterra's name could have other meanings or be inaccurate.
Only does Torterra have amazing inspirations and name origins, it also has some intriguing trivia. Various Pokedex entries suggest that Torterra doesn't move unless it's migrating in search of water. Being labeled as the continent Pokemon leads us to believe that this could be a reference to the concept of the Continental Drift, proposed by Abraham Ortelius. Being inspired by world turtles, it's no wonder Torterra is the heaviest known grass-type Pokemon. In addition, Torterra is also only known Pokemon with grass ground typing. Even if this sadly gives it a competitive disadvantage, speaking of which, if you're interested in how all the grass types starters fare when ranked competitively, then definitely stop by my channel where Derek and I discuss that.
Indeed, I'll be over on GreenTyphlosion's channel as a guest exploring all the grass starters competitively. Links in the description and end cards. It was a blast looking into Torterra and I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, stop by GreenTyphlosion's channel and check out our rankings of the grass type starters competitively. Get notified when I upload by subscribing and checking the notification bell. Involve yourself in the community by leaving a comment and sharing this video. Just as amazing as giving this video a like. Thanks for watching, and with that said, we'll catch you in the next one.